Hello, my name is Sid. Welcome back to my I'm saying welcome back. Welcome back to me, honestly. First of all, to start it all off, as you can tell, there's been like a name change. I changed the name and everything. It used to be Sid the Bookworm. We all know this. That name is just so funny to me now. I remember telling my friends about it freshman year and just being like so like proud of it. I thought it was so funny and like hilarious, and now it's just genuinely embarrassing to me. Oh my god, it's worse than like my Snapchat username, even though you can change that now, but I don't want to for nostalgia reasons. Anyways, all that to say, welcome to Sid for short. I'm kind of proud of that name. That it's one that I don't think will be cringy, and I looked it up because I was like, there's no way nobody's used this yet. Like, there's no way this is going to be available, and it was available, and I think it's really fun. My name is Sydney, so Sid for short. This video is actually the first in a series where I explore the careers of actors, entertainers that I like and admire. When I first came up with the idea for this series, I kind of just wanted to stick to like the filmography of people, because I was like, oh, it would be fun if I sat down and watched like all the movies that this person did. But I kind of quickly realized that there's so much that celebrities do. I thought it'd be interesting and fun to explore their whole everything. Disclaimer, there are some events, projects, things that I might not cover in this video. I'm telling you, there are definitely some that I will not cover. Sue me. I can't sit there. Period. Let's just get into the video. Everything is coming up Keke Palmer, and it's making me nostalgic. Keke writes bobs. Keke writes bobs. Keke writes bobs. Keke writes. Keke has like 3 albums out and like over 20 EPs and singles. While we, talk through her timeline, I'll be sprinkling in some of my favorite Keke songs throughout the chapters when I'm exploring her work on film and television. Most of my favorite Keke bops are from the film and television shows she did, because that's just the way I was exposed to music when I was younger. But don't get it twisted. Outside of film and television, Keke is and always will be an artist, period. Let's talk about Bottoms Up. It debuted in 2007 on her first album, So Uncool.
You've seen her on screen in A Killer and the Bee and Disney's Jumpin'. Now check out Keke Palmer on her irresistible debut album, So Uncool.
But she actually blessed us with a remake of the song this year, and y'all, they're so fun to listen to. Early Keke, all the stuff she made when she was still in school, elementary school, all of that is for doing your makeup and getting ready to go out, calling the Uber and stuff. And Bottoms Up 2.0 is what you play at the party. She's got everything.
Miss Keke P looking extra glossy, gotta rep your style looking extra flossy. I'm bossy, but I keep it cute with my stunning shades on in the tree on my boot.
You guys stand for the flag, I stand for Keke Palmer. 2004, the scene starts.
Oh, I hate you! I'ma tell my auntie!
Keke Palmer makes her film debut in Barbershop 2 Back in Business, playing Queen Latifah's niece. This was a pretty sweet gig, considering that the first Barbershop did so well and earned itself a good fan base that was itching for the next installment. She got to work with huge names like Ice Cube, Cedric the Entertainer, Eve, Michael Ealy, Kenan Thompson, and Queen Latifah, obviously. After she got her start on Barbershop 2, she immediately signed a record deal with Atlanta Records in 2005.
Hello,
Editing Sydney here. Keke Palmer signed with Atlantic Records, not Atlanta Records. Atlantic Records also represents artists like Jack Harlow, Kodak Black, and the person that sang ABCDEFU, which kind of blew up on TikTok. So, fun fact of the day. 2005 was the same year she shot a movie called Knights of the South Bronx, which I had never heard of before. I was shocked to learn that Devin Bostick is also in it, and that just made me want to stop everything I was doing and explore his filmography. Keke plays Kenya Russell, a 4th grader living in the inner city. I consider Knights of the South Bronx I consider Knights of the South Bronx kind of a warm-up for Akeelah and the Bee. Her character in this movie has a lot of the same traits as the character she plays in Akeelah and the Bee. She's smart, soft-spoken, and underprivileged. The movie is pretty mid, so I won't spend any more time on it, but if you want to watch the full movie, you can literally look it up on YouTube. It's one of those movies I could tell like you had to be watching like in a classroom to be really invested in. I loved when my teachers would put on TV movies, so who knows, maybe I'll get back around to it one day. After that project, Keke ended up filming a pilot with Disney Channel called Keke and Jamal that never got picked up.
Doesn't matter where you live, cause there ain't no place that's so queer.
I find it absolutely iconic that they were going to self-title a show for Keke. This all brings us to 2006. 2006 was the year that Lauren Kiana Palmer showed up on Sydney's radar. Akeelah and the Bee changed my life.
Prestidigitation. Prestidigitation.
That's correct.
Akeelah is an 11-year-old from LA who is recruited to enter the Scripps National Spelling Bee. This is a must watch. I thought for the longest time that Akeelah and the Bee was based on a true story. Like, I fully thought like these were real people, real characters like that existed in real life, because the story was just that believable and entertaining all at the same time. It feels like Black girl magic personified. I think it's great when movies can like center a kid as the start of a movement for something while still like letting them be a kid. The success of Akeelah and the Bee would lead her to 3 more of my favorite projects. Medea's Family Reunion is on there, Jump In, and a show called Just Jordan.
Thanks.
For what?
Nothing. Everything. I don't know.
I'm realizing in this moment, Jump In has a goated soundtrack. This movie is so endearing to me, and it also birthed one of my favorite songs by Keke Palmer. It's My Turn Now. If you don't know that song, now you do, and you're welcome. Like, I remember me and my sister, we used to be like doing the whole dance. Like, that song was everything to us. Jump In, definitely must watch. That's the symbol I'll do from now on. Must watch. I would put it pretty high on the DCOM Hall of Fame. 2008. Now, Miss Palmer was in her bag in 2008.
I need to relax. This is me relaxing. Why are you all just sitting there? Move, move, move!
True Jackson VP earned our girl an NAACP nomination and win. She beat out Selena Gomez, America's Baby Daddy Nick Cannon, Dora the Explorer, and one of the Backyardigans. I don't know why I said Dora the Explorer. Dora the Explorer. Please, if you have time, watch her acceptance speech for her NAACP award. It's just
conflict. I'm happy I'm numbered and stuff like this, but you know, it's okay if I don't win. I started going crazy. I was like, I hope I win.
Back to True Jackson BP. It was everything to me. Everything. First of all, the theme song, Hello. The series even had its own clothing line at Walmart. True Jackson VP had some crazy guest stars. I'm pretty sure, I know Justin Bieber was on there. Pretty sure Willow Smith was on there, and the list goes on and on and on and on. Keke gave us the long shots this year. This is a must watch.
A movie with Ice Cube, a little girl playing football, it can come off as just a cute little movie. And if you just hear the story firsthand, you might think, oh, a cute little kid movie, family movie. But if you really look into the story, you can see that it actually is very inspiring.
I am shocked at the amount of people who don't know about the long shots and haven't watched it. For me, who had watched Akeelah and the Bee, it got me less focused on being like an academic girly and way more focused on being like a football girly. Like, I immediately was like, turn me into a tomboy now. This has to happen to me. Keke Palmer plays Jasmine Plummer. The movie is about Jasmine and her uncle Curtis, who's played by Ice Cube. He ends up, in an attempt to relate to Jasmine, trying to teach her the game of football because, Jasmine shows a little interest and she ends up joining her high school football team, and they bring in Curtis as a coach, and the rest is history. You need to watch it. There are like a few like pretty well-known people in the long shots. Not like super like famous people, but just people you'd recognize if you saw them again in another movie. One of those people being Caleb Landry Jones, which, if you don't know who that is, he played Jeremy in Get Out, which is freaking crazy, obviously, because Keke was in Nope with Jordan Peele, and Jordan Peele wrote, wait for it, Get Out. I love the long shots. Definitely 10 out of 10. Definitely watch it. True Jackson VP ended in 2011, and then Keke Palmer moved on to Nickelodeon's Winx Club revival, for which she received another NAACP award nomination for her voice work. The next year, 2012, Keke Palmer reunites with Queen Latifah to create the masterpiece that is Joyful Noise. Joyful Noise, Joyful Noise, Joyful Noise.
Oh, you got a nice smile. Always did.
Oh my gosh, are you okay?
Instead of playing aunt and niece in this movie, they are playing mother and daughter. So Dolly Parton is also in this movie. Let me start there. Dolly Parton has a husband in this movie, okay? Stick with me. He was the choir director. He passed away. Queen Latifah takes over. She's like appointed to take over by the same pastor that was in Let It Shine. Dolly Parton isn't happy about this. Now, Queen Latifah has a daughter, Keke Palmer. Keke Palmer is extremely talented. She's been in the church choir for a really long time. They're trying to win a church choir competition. I don't think they've ever gotten through, and I think the church is losing the funding to keep sending them to competitions, and or for them to even continue being a church choir that travels and stuff like that. For some reason, Dolly Parton's nephew, Jeremy Jordan, comes into town. I can't even remember why. I think he's in trouble for something. He's supposed to be the bad boy in the movie. The whole movie is about them trying to get to the choir competition and keep rising in the ranks and stuff, and fighting tradition and loving Jesus, but not letting it skew your views of people and love. And it's one of the best movies I've ever seen in my life. I love Joyful Noise. I would go to war for Joyful Noise. And obviously there are some standout performances. I think everybody across the board is really good. Orpha's husband, I can't remember his name, but the guy who played the original Kyle in Legally Blonde, the musical, is also in it. He doesn't have a big role, but he's in it. I remembered him being in it, and his character is fun. All that to say, God, what was I gonna say? Anyways, go watch Joyful Noise. Afterwards, she produced and starred in the movie Rags on Nickelodeon.
I hate you so much, but I love you oh so bad. When I say I'm leaving, I don't mean it, I just want you back.
This is the first movie she produced. She produced a few more. I think Alice, which she did in 2022, which we'll get into. This produced the song You and Me Against the World. And there's another song that I think is just her that I really liked, but I didn't look too much into it. The plot of Rags. Basically, Rags is a Cinderella story from a guy's perspective as Cinderella. You know, he's got the evil stepbrothers and like the evil stepdad, I think. This is one of those fever dreams for me. I can't even remember that it's real. All I know is I saw a clip the other day of one of the scenes that I do remember watching, and it's when they're like singing in the street and Keke Palmer's undercover, and I just remember thinking that she looked like she was in will.i.am cosplay. I wouldn't really consider that movie a must watch, but I think if you have time and you have the resources, you should definitely give it a watch. It was after Rags that she entered what I call her come-up era. She made a movie called Abducted, the Carlina White story, and let me tell you, I love me a good Lifetime film. This particular film followed Keke Palmer as Carlina White, a young woman who was taken away from her family at birth and made to believe that she was somebody else's child. Lifetime actually kind of made this movie twice. Once with Keke Palmer as the headliner, and then again with Niecy Nash. She was in like the second version, because I guess this happened twice. I need to do a deep dive into that. Just this idea that somebody would steal a child from the hospital, and why twice, and why did Lifetime made 2 Lifetime movies about it, and they were both black women. Beats me. The whole movie is about her finding out she's not, like, everything was a lie, like, basically. Like, she calls the police and she's like, I was abducted, like, and it's a real story. Keke Palmer does a great job in it. I think this is one of the first times we kind of get to see like her true range. 2013, Keke Palmer releases the Crazy Sexy Cool, the TLC biopic. This is something else I vaguely remembered from my adolescence. It feels like a fever dream again, and I don't think this movie had a theatrical release. I think it was only released on MTV or like VH1. Are they the same thing? I don't know. I will be trying to find any way I can to watch this movie. I couldn't because I think it's on Showtime and Stars, and I don't have anything. If you do, give me the password so I can watch this movie. It looks so good. Just the way like the trailer even hyped it up, and how like good the costuming looked. She also acts in it alongside Little Kim. I remember Little Kim giving a like really good performance. I remember her performance being like praised, which is why I thought it had a theatrical release. In 2014, Keke starts hosting her own talk show, Just Keke, making her the youngest talk show host in TV history. Slay, 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 slay. Looking through the episode descriptions for this show is insane. Let's take a look-see, shall we? The subjects they were touching on, she keeps it real. I think she has a reputation for keeping it real. And unfortunately, the first episode features a Chris Brown song. Their second episode is titled The N-Word, Right or Wrong. I would give my left lung to watch Fifth Harmony visit Just Keke and talk about the new dating rules. Oh my god, Brandon T. Jackson was on. Jay Ellis! Wow, why was Jay Ellis on in 2014? What was he doing? Why was Chris Brown on so much? Keke tackles the definition of ghetto. These all sound really interesting to me. Anyway, it was in the same year of all this craziness, you know, of her kept tackling the N-word. Keke made her Broadway debut alongside Nene Leakes in Roger and Hammerstein's Cinderella.
In my own little corner, in my own little chair, I can be whatever I want to be.
I think it's just so fun to watch Keke on stage. Like, oh my gosh. Because she's Keke Palmer, things started to snowball. Like, they kept snowballing. 2015, Brotherly Love. Is that a must watch? It didn't really look like it. The only thing that stuck out to me was the song that Keke sings in the trailer. Macy Gray is in the movie though, which I thought was really cool, and so is Logan Browning from Bratz. Seriously, let me know if I should watch Brotherly Love. Like, I kept trying to find a way to watch it because like I thought it looked interesting, but then I watched the trailer and I was like, it's not really looking like something I want to dig my nails into, but hey, hey, who knows? She started Scream Queens the same year. 2016 was the year she did Grease Live with like all the celebrities in the world. She did a couple of Ice Age movies following this. Honestly, are you a real celebrity if you didn't do an Ice Age movie? I really think if you like were chosen to be in the Ice Age movies, like voice an Ice Age character, you are frozen. No pun intended, but you are frozen in a part of time that will mean everything to a child someday. 2017 gave us her memoir, I Don't Belong to You, Quiet the Noise and Find Your Voice, which I will be reading. She went on to be a key player in Epix's Berlin Station, a drama spy show that I had never heard of, but I love crime shows, so I'll definitely add it to my watch list. 2018 brought us The A to Z of Aaliyah, which I thought was a biopic, but am now realizing is in fact a documentary. But Miss Girl did give us Pimp. Now, a lot of people called Pimp a transformative role for Keke. Keke plays Wednesday, a female pimp who grew up learning the game from her dad. Reviews I've read all praise the performances, in particular, especially Keke. It sounds like the general consensus is that the movie is one that begs for complex characters, but the script doesn't really seem to help so much in achieving that. 2019 was also the year she did Scream and Hustlers. Keke also got back into hosting this year. She co-hosted Strahan and Sarah while the pair each took leave, but eventually the show became Strahan, Sarah, and Keke because Keke was that much of an icon, birthing the rise of one of my favorite Keke internet references.
I know him, y'all. I know him. I know this man.
She also collaborated with League of Legends for a little bit. It reminded me of this video I watched recently by Casey Aonzo. I hope I'm pronouncing that right because I love their content about weird celebrity brand collabs. Can my LOLers, my League of Legenders tell me what they thought of Keke Palmer's collab? Was it like Fortnite level? She like wrote a song for them with Becky G and like some other people and performed it at like the League of Legends championship, and I just thought it was so funny. 2020. The year COVID-19 rocked our little worlds. It gave Strahan, Sarah, and Keke an abrupt ending. Like, they literally just ended the show. They weren't like, we're gonna go on Zoom, we'll come back when this happens. Nope, they said, turn it off. NBC was like, we don't have enough money for that. But they all won a Daytime Emmy Award for their work on the show, which is more than I can say for my 2020. This was also the year that Keke played everybody on Turned Up with the Taylors, a satirical take on reality television following a wealthy family, all played by Keke Palmer. She earned herself an Emmy Award for her work on the show. 2021, Keke Palmer continued to host and hustle, working with Quibi and Disney Plus. And that brings us to the year 2022. She started the year off with a bang, queen, in the movie Alice. Now, I don't think Alice garnered much mainstream attention. If you're like me, I didn't really hear of it. Like, I didn't hear of its release. Like, I don't know if it had theatrical release. It was all news to me. I didn't even really know what it was about until I started researching for this, because at first I was like, oh, Keke's fighting the people, because like if you look in the poster, she has like an afro and she's looking real cool. I would put it on the same level as Antebellum in terms of the way that audiences reacted to it. I was interested in it because it's apparently inspired by true events. Keke plays Alice, an enslaved person on a 19th century plantation in Georgia owned by Paul Bennett. Attempting to escape, she finds herself on a highway in 1973 where she meets Frank, played by Common, a truck driver who lets her know that she has been misled her whole life. They then planned revenge, and the rest is history, I think. Exactly what parts of this movie are inspired by true events, I don't know. the slavery, it didn't stop Keke. Keke was still in her bag. They loved her performance regardless. She's Keke Palmer, duh. She went on to voice Izzy Hawthorne in Lightyear alongside Christopher Jamal Evans. And then, of course, slayed us all as Emerald in Jordan Peele's Nope, gaining loads of critical attention, which brings us to the present. This has been a huge year for Keke. We all know this, but I don't think it's the biggest year she'll have. You know, I think there's so much overdue for Keke. And, you know, getting to see her host SNL and announce her pregnancy on the show just reignited the little black girl joy in me. It's truly been so amazing to see her grow into the woman she is today and just continue to inspire me all these years later, just as she did when she played Akilah in Akilah and the Bee. If you feel so inclined, please let me know your favorite Keke moment that I may not have touched on, your favorite Keke song that you love to dance to, your favorite Keke memes, but most of all, give Keke Palmer her flowers. If you take anything from this video, it's to praise the people that inspire you, and Keke Palmer is definitely one of those people for me, and I know I will be a stan until the day they close that casket on your girl. With all that being said, I am Sid. Thank you so much for watching this video. If you stayed till the end, you are amazing. Please give me a high five, screen high five. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you in the next video.